Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be taking a look into the severe weather, a possibility of a significant severe weather threat across the Arctic area and safe for the deep south, and just a lot of things to talk about here. If you all haven't heard on Twitter or any social media posts, there is the SPC has issued severe weather risks for Friday and Saturday. And there's also a threat coming along with this, and that's the flash flooding threat. And the models are probably showing possibly a weather storm, but I'm not going to really go too much detail on that. I think the most important part of the system here is going to be the severe weather. It could be pretty significant, and I'm going to show you guys the SPC first. Now, this is Thursday here, so it's predictably too low, so there's not really a chance of severe weather. There's probably a margin of risk somewhere in the area. I'll probably guess Texas and Oklahoma. And if we move on to day 5, bam, and there's a 30% chance. Let me zoom this in for you guys. You can see there's a 30% chance for severe weather, and that means an enhanced risk. And a 15% means a slight risk. And the enhanced risk covers portions of Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas here. And I'm going to add on cities to this here. So you can see here includes places like Shreveport, Lufkin, Texas there, Little Rock too. And what cities are included with the select list is like Houston, Dallas, Austin, Fort Worth, and Arlington, and even includes Greenville, Mississippi, or Arkansas there. And this could be pretty significant overall. And as we they don't give too much information. Let's see here. A multi-day severe weather episode is expected across portions of the Arctic to the deep south, visiting on day 5, which is Friday, and day 6, Saturday. Let me show you guys Saturday. There's a 50%. It's actually a very large area. It includes places like Nashville, Jackson, Memphis, Greenville, Jackson, Mobile, New Orleans, and Birmingham, Columbus, and Dauphin there, and also Chattanooga. And for the very similar threats, now all threats are on the table, which means tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. With this here, so just kind of scroll back down here, and you can see the dew points are there, and mm, like I said again, looks like there will be a weak cap, strong vertical shear. I mean, it's just gonna be pretty impressive here for this time of year. I mean, you don't need much K values for this time of year. The dew points are there. I mean, and it could be pretty bad here. So this is my forecast here. Now this is 2 days equating into one. So this is Friday and Saturday here. So for Friday, kind of cuts off through Mississippi and westward, and Saturday is cut for Mississippi and eastward. Uh, Now, as you can see here, I have two areas of enhanced areas here, which are also known as 30% safe for slight risk, also known as 15% from the SPC. Now, the tornadoes, you can see they're on the top here, which I'll zoom in for you guys here. It's kind of hard to see, but day 5 and 6, tornadoes, there's a 10% chance. SIG means significant. I can rule out a strong tornado with this here, but as we kind of look into forecast settings or SCOOT models, as I kind of look into those there, I believe the significant tornado threat is kind of a little lower, but I can still roll out a strong tornado at this time here. Damage and winds, oh boy, they will be there. And the amount of energy this system can bring here, or at least there's a negative tilt to this here, can bring in some damage and winds. There's also a large hail threat as well, but it's kind of lower threat than the rest of the threats. There's also a flash flooding threat, and I'll probably just name the states. It goes for portions of Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. That's where rainfall amounts could be 4 to 6 inches, and that's a lot of rain. So that could bring in a pretty good flash flooding threat there, and it could be significant as well. There's also a chance for a winter storm too. So this is just going to bring a lot of trouble to the eastern United States here. And I don't think it's going to quite do as much to the northeast or even the east coast there. Probably just rain or snow for the northeast and mostly rain for the east here. But the areas I have highlighted in yellow and in orange here, this is the areas to really focus on here. Now, I've been kind of looking through ingredients here, and we'll take a look into the rain and thunder first. That's a mess. It really is. But let's back up to Friday. Let's backtrack a little bit. So we're going to go 7 o'clock Saturday morning. Very intense line there, but I need to go back a little bit further. So this is 7 o'clock. And 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday here. We have a stationary front going on from Kansas, from Missouri, Illinois, Indiana there. That's where the low pressure system can ride on. And it seems like the front is still continuing to go southeast here into a little bit more into Illinois, Indiana, and Missouri, of course. And even back down to Oklahoma as well. And that low pressure system is going to follow along with it. We already have the moisture in place here. And so your dew points are a little bit higher as well across the south there, which I'll probably show you guys the dew points in just a moment. As we move on to 12 o'clock on Friday, things start to go active here. As you can see here, we have some thunderstorms going on as far north as Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. You don't typically see thunderstorms this time of year that far up north here. But you can see here, your low pressure systems should start to deepen and bring out all this cold air coming in behind it. You can see here, there's a little bit. There's eventually going to be some negative tilt. 5 o'clock here. Your low pressure system, I'll say it's about right over here where my mouse is right there. And we got a line of strong to severe thunderstorms. And we're going to kind of zoom in to this area here. So at this point here, this is probably time for severe weather. And let's take a look into those winds there. It could be very gusty. And the temperature gradient, it's not that impressive yet. I'm saying yet. The temperature gradient will increase there. Here's 9 o'clock here. You can see here her line starts to broad out pretty well. And look at this here, 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday or Friday night. Boy, oh boy, that's nasty there. That's a line of strong to severe thunderstorms. You can see out ahead of it with the winds here could be gusting up to 50 miles an hour. And that's not thunderstorm winds. That's winds coming from the south here. So if we go up to the atmosphere here and take a look at the Cape Index, all you really need for severe weather is pretty much 400, 500 and above. And you got Cape values about 17 or 1800 in a few spots. And that's a lot. You can see there it actually continues to go up north here. So that tells me your 60 dews is probably about as far north at this point here as like around Tennessee here. Which we should not have a problem with moisture here. I mean, that's a lot of rain. They're coming off the European model. And you can see it, there's even bowing out segments along this line here as well. And the rain here could be heavy times per, I'll say it'd be about 1 to 2 inches rain per hour. I mean, this is going to be a little bit tense here. And here's the thunderstorm parameters, or sometimes called as the lightning. Looks like the lightning could be intense. There, you can always see it with the European model here. Go back to rain and thunder here. Your squall line goes as far north as basically up into Illinois, Indiana, but they're not going to be severe up there because how the atmosphere up there is, it's a little bit more stable. You can see about the temperatures, it's lower 50s to, well, upper 50s to low 60s up there. However, down here it's upper 60s and low 70s. Let's move on to 1 o'clock here. Oh boy, look at Oklahoma and Texas. Snow. We'll see about that there. And this kind of really tells you the cold air is real catching up. So right at this point here, you got a negative tilt going on here. I'm wondering we can kind of go up into the atmosphere here in a little bit. But you can see the surface winds gusting up to 60 miles an hour. You can see over here up in Kentucky and Tennessee as well. You can see there, 2 o'clock, temperatures up in Kentucky, mid to upper 60s, that is ridiculous. That is above average there. That could be near record highs there, up in Kentucky there, and that's impressive this time of year. You can see it's even showing 70s, which is even more impressive here. But you can see there with the temperature grading, you go from 68 in north central Mississippi. If you go over to central Arkansas or western Arkansas, temperatures will be in the 40s or even 30s. Here's the thunderstorm parameters here. You can see here. And it seems like the storms calmed down around Saturday here, but you can see here the severe weather threat I'll say probably will continue into Saturday here from the European model. You can see the GFS is a little bit more progressive here with the timing of this here, but that's going to create some uncertainties. 6 o'clock with temperatures. Temperatures here are still about 70 degrees. That's still crazy. Here's the wind gust here. Look around Tennessee there, about 70-mile-an-hour gusts. That's coming from the south as well. And let's take a look into those winds here. Let's go up into the atmosphere, shall we? And you know what? Doesn't really quite show it that well on this here. Yeah, it doesn't really quite show it. I'm going to show you guys on probably cloud meteorology in a moment. But again, there could be a there probably could be a winter storm there, but we'll see. I did highlight some of those areas there for a possible winter storm. And beyond that, we're not really going to talk about the winter side of things in this video. And again, with the bring it down to the surface here, the temperature gradient is now a little bit less, so and high pressure starts to take place across the area. And so let's take a look into the GFS model here. So this is looking into Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning here. You already got Cape values up to 700 in a few spots. Let's move on to 1 o'clock here. You got Cape values starting to reach to 1,000 for some areas there. 4 o'clock here, still very similar Cape values there, but they're still increasing for a few areas. 7 o'clock here. You can tell by the winds are really rushing. Let's take a look into the Cape and shear values here. It's not really that impressive for the GFS, but I like to put a disclaimer. The GFS has not been doing well for the past couple weeks, actually. Yeah, so I do not have much trust with the GFS here. You can see here, got your lifted index there, and it's a pretty sharp cutoff as well. It seems like it's not as impressive there. You can tell where your front is, but you can see there's quite a bit of helicity there. Now let's start to move on into the next day here. So here's your Cape. So here's Saturday here. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Here's 7 o'clock in the morning. But the GFS here is a little bit progressive here. Seems like it can happen a little bit earlier today. You can see here, it's actually a little bit more impressive here with the Cape and shear. The wind shear, boy oh boy, there's quite a bit of it. The cyanide, seems like there's some cyanide out ahead of it, which kind of prevents some scattered thunderstorms to develop. Along that line there, there's some decent lifted index there, and wow. Look at these values up into Kentucky, Tennessee, very high. And that's along the squall line too. I mean, 1,000? You're kidding me. You know, the sinus should be kind of high, but it's not. Let's take a look into those winds there. You see their winds could be gusting up to 60 miles per hour for some of those areas there. Move on to 10 o'clock. Still got winds gusting up to probably near 70, and that's probably about a thunderstorm there as well. Let's take a look into the precipitation from the GFS here. Let's take a look at it. And here's 1 o'clock. Your squall line's starting to move in here. Let's move back to the south here. So here's your Cape. Not that impressive there, but you can see their showers and thunderstorms are still continuing. But also, the GFS is a little bit too progressive with this here, which I kind of disagree with being pretty progressive here, but man, the holistic values. And I'll say what's going on here. These values here probably could be maxed out. That's probably what's going on here. Or it could be something else there. But one last thing we're going to take a look into is called meteorology here. And let's say that real quick for future videos. All I really wanted to show you really quick, we're going to do a continental United States here. I want to show you guys the tilt in the jet stream here. And that can cause a lot of problems. We'll take a look into rainfall amounts very quickly. And as you can probably tell here, the internet's slow. Give it a second. There we go. Yeah, look at that negative tilt kind of going on there. And that's something you don't really want to see for severe weather, especially this time of year here. When you have negative tilt, that's going to cause some trouble. And it kind of really takes a pretty good threat for severe weather, pretty much for these areas here with the placement of the negative tilt there. But you also got to look for K values as well. And it resets it. We'll take a look into the dew points, and then we're going to take a look into energy. That'll be the last few things before we end this video. Now, for severe weather to happen, you need 60 dews for the most part, and that's it. And you can see here, 60 dews can reach as far north as portions of Kentucky there, even for southern Indiana. A little bit impressive there. There's even 70s trying to show up in the deep south there, which is also pretty impressive. The vorticity, however, this is surface space. That's quite a bit of energy up here, up in the north, but the K values are not in place here, so. But I just feel like the GF is just underdoing some things here. But we'll see, and expect some changes here to the forecast here. Waiting for this here to load. And still waiting. Come on. There we go. So here's the supercell composite values there. You can show it shows a little bit of speck of orange there for Louisiana here. That's the area you always want to look into if you want to take a look into Scooties here. We'll zoom this out so you can see better. So there's a tornado threat. You can see here with the EF2 threat, it's actually a little bit higher. There's some severe hail. There could be a significant supercell with it, but you don't really have very strong updrafts here with what I'm seeing here. So that kind of decreases the tornado threat a little bit. But I could still roll out a chance for tornadoes there. That's a definite yes. Here's the vorticity up in the atmosphere. Yeah, look at that deep trough there kind of coming in. And it really becomes amplified towards Saturday, which I can kind of increase the severe weather threat northward, but the Cape though is kind of a little off there. So yeah, guys, overall, this could be a pretty significant event for severe weather. We'll take a look at rainfall amounts very quickly. This is the European model solution here for the next 10 days here. You can see a lot of rain there, about 4 to 6 inches. That's from a different storm system there. You can see there, but 10 inches of rain there. That's a little bit ridiculous there. Rainfall amounts from the GFS here, not too much there, but just a few things to mention about this system here. There could be a significant severe weather event for number one. Number two is there could be a pretty good flash flooding event for portions of Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Illinois, Missouri, and Arkansas. And there might be a winter storm with it as well, which I'll say the best chance for it will be portions of Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. So stay tuned for more updates on this here. I'll definitely have more updates here soon. I may make an update video tomorrow if any major changes to the forecast. So yeah, guys, so this is what I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this severe weather update. If y'all did like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys got questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.